Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda, and please welcome to our Operation Freedom platform, WeThePeopleProcessing.com. You know, are you tired of being threatened to be canceled just because you have a company focused on liberty and freedom? Well, worry no more, folks. WeThePeopleProcessing.com is your go-to merchant services, freedom-based company to provide business service payment solutions. We the People Processing provides their clients a cancel culture-free platform which is domestically based. They provide competitive rates, no contracts with next-day funding, a fully vetted and like-minded financial infrastructure, and full support for integrations, implementation, and e-commerce efforts. Bottom line, WeThePeopleProcessing.com focuses on defending your company's free market growth, values, and future. Check them out at www.WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Once you're on the site, enter in password Operation Freedom or call 855-499-2024. That's WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Then, when on the website, enter Operation Freedom as your password or call 855-499-2024.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state
She's
categorically?
asking a question.
Mr.
Don't be
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question.
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave Vs The MSM. I'd like to thank you for joining me today and thank you for networking these videos to all those you know and love. The more people who are educated with the facts, the truth, the information that the globalist cult wants you not just ambivalent to, but wants you misinformed about, disinformed about, or completely uninformed about, the more people that are educated with the truth, the more people that become empowered. And the sooner we end this reign of terror, and it is a reign of terror, on a mass scale, by the globalist cult, the New World Order crowd, the thugocracy, the globalist syndicate, the whatever, the shadow government, whatever you want to call them, they're all the same. They're all about a freedom-stripping agenda. And stripping you of our constitutional republic if you live in the United States. Stripping you, if you're a person of the world, of your freedom, of your liberty, of your life. That's not hyperbole. That is, in fact, what has been occurring for centuries. It's just they've upped their game more, in particular over the past 3 years. The title of today's presentation is Stopping the Cults, the globalist cults' fraud operation. Because their entire operation is based on fraud, as we've pointed out countless times, but bears repeating. I'd like to start by quoting Albert Einstein. Quote, "The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing." Unquote. That's what they're counting on. You see, they're counting on us doing nothing, about us not exposing their fraud operation. And they're counting on you not taking that information and delivering it to your friends and family, who then pass it on to their other friends and family. You see, that's the great awakening that they not only fear, but they're actually panicked over. Because the Great Awakening was not supposed to happen. It's actually supposed to be suppressed over their operation their past 3 years with their, and, right? Because it's all based on a pathogen and a bioweapon, right? No, that was supposed to end you. That was supposed to keep you on your couch, keep you in fear, keep you glued to their propaganda networks, keep you locked down and masked. And something happened. People initially did. Many did. Too many did. But now, a lot of people that got this are saying, oh, bad mistake. People that bought into continual and getting locked are, no. And they're talking. And the syndicate doesn't like it because it's exposing their entire fraud operation. And part of their operation is to take down the world economy, because the more people that are destitute, the more people that become dependent on them, the syndicate, to parcel out those little crumbs. Their goal is to take down, they position themselves appropriately ahead of time, right? Their goal is to take down the world financial system. And they're in the process of doing it because the more people that are destitute, the more people that are dependent on them. And the more people's lives they can ruin because they get off on that. They're sick. They really are sick. They are evil. I believe the freedom side biggest problem is the vast majority of people on the freedom side of the equation don't realize the lengths the cult will go to harm people and oft people. Yeah. Just think of the last 3 years. Now, the more people they can have destitute, the more people they can have hungry, the more people they can have cold, the more people they can have victims. You and I fight against all that, but they fight for that. That's a good day for them. The more people that become vulnerable. Just look at this past holiday, Thanksgiving, right? This from Chris Malore from studyfinds.org. Holiday hardship. 1 in 4 Americans skipping Thanksgiving entirely to save money. How horrible. But for the globalist cult members, what a success. Too bad it's only 25%. Oh, we should be 50%, should be 75%, should be 100%. Oh, that's what the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Lazards and the Pinkuses and the Warburgs and the Seifs and the Pesor family, very top of the pyramid, that's what they're saying. Too bad it's only 25%. Seriously. Thanksgiving is typically a time for big family celebrations and lots of food, but a new survey finds the struggling U.S. economy is forcing many Americans to cut back or not celebrate at all. In a poll commissioned by digital wealth management company Personal Capital, 1 in 4 Americans say they're actually skipping Thanksgiving altogether in order to save money. 1 in 3 are hosting smaller dinners, and a staggering 88% are cutting at least one dish from their table in order to make ends meet. In 2021, researchers note that in a survey found that 9 in 10 Americans plan to celebrate Thanksgiving. This year, a new poll of 1,000 people found that the number has fallen to just 74%. In fact, 47% say they're celebrating Friendsgiving because of its more budget-friendly menu. Specifically, just 24% of Friendsgiving celebrations will even have a turkey on the table, with 33% opting for pizza instead. And if the globalist cult has their way, it would be a pizza topped with bugs. Yeah. Crickets. Tartar. Oh, yeah. Inflation and job insecurity are reigning on the Thanksgiving parade. And that the cult would rather have not just rain, a huge thunder, typhoon, yeah. 52% are asking guests to bring a dish to Thanksgiving dinner. 3 in 4 are asking guests to bring their own alcohol, while just under half, 46%, are asking people to provide the dessert. Another 42% are going a step further, asking their friends and family to help pay for the big meal. Nearly 6 in 10 admit that their Thanksgiving guest list is much smaller this year, and 53% are cooking fewer dishes. I have to laugh. There are people that say that elections or whatever these goat rodeos are occurring in the United States in November every other year don't have consequences. Oh, no. 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 Elections, or whatever they are, installations, that really is really what they're about, right? Based on. Installations have consequences like we're seeing here with baby formula shortages, a sieve of a southern border, people having pizza on Thanksgiving, people foregoing Thanksgiving. Watch what happens, even though they're going to inflate the holiday shopping numbers. Watch what happens with holiday sales. Oh, we might be going into a recession. No, we've been in a recession for many months. This is a depression. Willfully. This is not from incompetence. This is willful. This is about instituting economic hardship to make more people dependent on the globalist cult. That's what this is about. Make no mistake about it. One way we can subvert their fraud operation is exposing how they put their puppets in political office. It makes it more difficult for them to institute their fraud operations. When their puppets get installed, when they can campaign in their basements, when they can have somebody who can't even put two syllables together like occurred in Pennsylvania, all of a sudden win a miraculous election. Let's talk about it. This from the Lawyers' Democracy Fund. Here are 10 proven election reforms, because elections do have consequences. And boy, when they're installations, they really do. People don't eat turkey. People don't celebrate Thanksgiving. People don't buy Christmas gifts. People don't have baby formula. Yeah. Installations matter. Here are 10 proven election reforms for substandard states. Largest POW camp in all North America, right here in Michigan. Based on recommendations of the Lawyers' Democracy Fund, successful election security changes in states such as Florida and fraud cases like those noted above. 10 proven election reforms. 1, the voter, not the state, should decide how to vote. Imagine that. Many voters do not trust mailed ballots. Even during COVID, 59% of Americans preferred the more secure method of voting in person using time-tested direct recording equipment to confidentially record and count their votes. States should encourage in-person voting while permitting absentee ballots with safeguards. 2, each state should maintain and annually update accurate lists of eligible voters. Imagine that. States have legal duties to maintain accurate voter rolls. Florida requires county officials to conduct a voter registration and maintenance program annually to identify voters with potential address changes. 3, a state should mail an absentee ballot to a voter only if the voter requests it. None of this mass mail-in voting thing. Election officials enable fraud by knowingly mailing thousands of ballots to inactive or relocated or deceased voters or ineligible non-citizens. These ballots are easily intercepted and misused. Absentee ballots should be mailed to a voter only upon the voter's request, as occurs in Florida. And you wonder why there was a red tsunami there, but a red spit in places like Michigan and New York and Arizona and Georgia and Wisconsin. And, right. 4, voters should provide secure identification when requesting an absentee ballot and when registering earlier. Voters who want an absentee ballot should provide a reliable ID, such as a driver's license number or 4 social security digits, as in Florida. A scrawled signature on a ballot return envelope is not enough. Software cannot reliably verify up to half of voter signatures. Also, voters should not register on Election Day, but weeks before to ensure states can confirm they are residents and U.S. citizens, as occurs in the state of Tennessee. 5. States should ban or sharply restrict harvesting of ballots. Collection of ballots by third parties from nursing homes, colleges, and inner city areas presents one of the greatest threats of election integrity and is often involved in fraud cases. Paid or unpaid harvesting or ballot collection assistance should be banned, or at least limited to collecting and delivering ballots for just 2 voters, as occurs in Florida. Compliance with restrictions should be monitored at drop boxes. Number 6. States should monitor and protect ballot drop boxes. Collection and storage issues are critical for mailed ballots. Unmonitored drop boxes open 24/7 for weeks raise acute concerns about the lack of meaningful safeguards. Florida requires drop boxes to be located near official polling places, open only during business hours, and monitored in person by an election officer at all times. Poll watchers should be allowed to closely watch boxes and ballot collectors. Florida and other states also appropriately ban the use of private funds such as Mark Zuckerbucks. Remember those? Or how about the latest globalist cult scum, Sam Bankman-Fried? What was that, 50 million he put in? Oh, yeah. Right. 7. States should stop stretching Election Day until election month, or election months, the way it's going. Advance voting should occur only during a reasonably time-limited period before Election Day. Florida requires advance ballots to be received 8 to 13 days prior to Election Day. 8. All ballot handling and counting should be bipartisan and open to poll watchers, and machines should be repeatedly tested and audited. Bipartisan teams of election officials and poll watchers of all parties should be present at all times for all phases of ballot handling and counting. Imagine that. Transparency, accountability. Oh, Ballot tabulation machines, signature verification software, and related systems should be subject to repeated testing and audits with bipartisan observers, as occurs in Florida. 9. All ballots should be received by Election Day and counted and publicly reported by the next day. It is inexcusable to delay ballot counts for days, weeks, months after Election Day, or accept ballots received after Election Day because they were postmarked that day. All ballots should be returned and received by Election Day, as in Florida. And final tally should be counted and reported by the next day. Number 10. States and counties should diligently investigate and prosecute election fraud and encourage citizens to report it. States should dedicate offices to investigate and prosecute election fraud, as Florida has done. Remember, the ultimate premise on all of this is a vote is a legal, documented entity. A ballot does not necessarily mean it is legal or documented or valid. One side, the globalist cult side, loves to collect ballots that are not verified, that are not legal. And they try to equate that with a legal vote, which are 2 different entities. The reason why there was a red tsunami in Florida is because the powers that be made it so that it was very difficult to equate an unverified, illegal ballot with being the same as a vote. That's why there was a red tsunami in Florida. The reason why there was a red spit in Michigan, in New York, in Arizona, in Georgia, and in many other states around the country, many of whom happen to have these globalist cult member governors and secretaries of state and attorney generals, is because none of these 10 points that I just mentioned were implemented. And that created the cult's fraud operation. And those operations, whether you call them an election or an installation, have consequences. Horrible consequences when it comes to freedom and liberty and accountability and transparency. So here's what Everybody does. You take those 10 points and you go to every elected official you have, local, state, national, and saying, here are the 10 you're going to do. Do them. And if you don't do them, we're going to make sure that you don't get through the primary, that we find somebody to run against you that will sign on to these 10. You start looking at voter rolls in your local community. They did this in Wisconsin. It eliminated tens of thousands of fraudulent votes. And I believe the reason why Senator Ron Johnson won that close election was because of those patriots that went to their local communities days and weeks ahead of time and showed them that there were addresses that were fraudulent, that were on the voter rolls, and people that didn't live there. Yeah. It doesn't take much, folks. But it does take you to get off your couch. Please network this video to your friends and family so they're aware of what they have to do. Have to do. Have to do. Operative words. Because if we have another election like 2018 and 2020 and 2022, say bye-bye to our constitutional republic and everything that comes with it. That's not hyperbole, it's a fact. We need to end the fraud across the board on many different planes. And let's start with the installation process of these globalist cult members. Fact. I thank you for joining me. I am available 24/7 at davejanda.com with extra shows, extra content, extra guests, extra analysis, archives to all of our shows. 30 cents a day on the subscription side. Try it for a month, $9. I assure you, it provides you priceless information that I cannot go to on this platform because of censorship. True. This channel is suppressed. It's censored to the nth degree because the information I present. And the uncensored version is available at davejanda.com. We hope you'll become part of our freedom family. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.